Welcome to this edition of Race to Power. I'm Ananya Datta and here's what we have lined up for you tonight. South Asian country of Nepal has averted a political deadlock, at least for now. Prime Minister Prachanda has won a parliamentary vote of confidence, and this was his third coalition within a year. The question is, how long will this hold? The European Union is taking a sharp right turn. We have been reporting about the right wave in Europe, but with the elections slated this year, leaders are busy wooing the far-right governments. The latest one is Italy. Starting the show with some big developments coming in from India, where the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party has released its second list of candidates for the upcoming Lok Sabha polls. The second list features names of 72 candidates from 9 states and 2 union territories, including Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Delhi. Now, prominent names that featured in the second list include that of Union Minister Nitin Gadkari from Nagpur, Piyush Goyal from Mumbai North, Prahlad Joshi from Dharwar, Anurag Thakur from Hamirpur. Former chief ministers that made into the list include ex-Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar, who has been fielded from Karnal, former Karnataka Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai from Haveri, and former Uttarakhand Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat from Haridwar. Other notable names are those of Yaduvir Vadiyar, who is from the former ruling dynasty of Mysore and has been fielded from the Mysore constituency. Pankaja Munde, the daughter of former Deputy Chief Minister Gopinath Munde. Now, B.Y. Raghavendra, son of former Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa, has also been fielded from Karnataka's Shimoga. The list also features names of 15 women candidates. The BJP's second list has names of the last 2 remaining candidates from Delhi. The party's first list includes names of 5 candidates. In total, the BJP has only fielded 1 sitting MP again this time, which is Manoj Tiwari from North-East Delhi. Barring Tiwari, the BJP has fielded all new candidates in Delhi. In the second list, sitting lawmaker Hansraj Hans has been replaced by BJP leader Yogendra Chandolia from Northwest Delhi. Harsh Malhotra has been fielded from Delhi East after sitting MP, and former cricketer Gautam Gambhir requested the party to relieve him of his political duties. Earlier in the first list, BJP had fielded 4 new faces in the 5 announced candidates. The party did not field sitting members of parliament such as Union Minister Meenakshi Lekhi and Dr. Harshvardhan. They were replaced by Sushma Swaraj's daughter Bansuri Swaraj Parmi and Praveen Khandelwal, respectively. Sitting MPs Ramesh Biduri and Parvesh Verma also did not find a place in this year's list. Analysts say that the Delhi reboot is a response to the alliance between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in the national capital. Since the rules of the Citizenship Amendment Act was released, there has been an uproar in India. People have taken to the streets. The opposition has accused the government of polarizing the country, and some states have refused to implement the law.
What is this CAA? BJP government at the centre says that if minorities from 3 countries, Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan, want to get Indian citizenship, they will be granted the same. It means that a large number of minorities will be brought to our country. They will be given jobs and houses will be built for them. The BJP can't provide jobs to our children, but they want to give jobs to children from Pakistan.
We were against CAA because to give citizenship based on religion is against the constitution. This has been challenged in the Supreme Court as well. Why did it take them 4 years and 3 months to implement?
The Indian government has come down heavily on this. The ruling BJP has said that the accusations around polarization are misleading. West Bengal's Chief Minister was the first to say that she will not allow the implementation of CAA.
Well, Mamta gives slippery political ground in Bengal is forcing her to give a communal khala, which we condemn with all the authority at our command. What is the extent to which they are willing to degenerate themselves in pursuit of vote bank politics?
Constitutionally speaking, the states do not have the power to reject a law. CAA comes in the union list and not the state list. So even though Bengal and Kerala chief ministers have claimed to reject it, they do not have the legal power to do it. The CAA law promises an easier path for citizenship to people who entered India before 31st of December 2014. This applies only for a few countries, namely Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. And the people have to belong to the Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi or Christian communities. In 2019, when this law was brought, massive protests broke out across the country with over 100 people losing their lives. Trying to avert a similar scenario ahead of elections, the government is launching a helpline. Now, this will serve two purposes. One, to assist applicants to get Indian citizenship under the CAA law, and two, people will be able to get accurate information related to the law. Now, another news, Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dehal Prachanda has won a parliamentary vote of confidence, and this comes a week after Prime Minister Prachanda formed his third coalition in a year. He is now heading a government which is dominated by the liberal communists. Dehal formed a coalition cabinet that includes the Nepali Congress Party and other smaller groups last year. He changed allies this month, saying that he was not given a free hand. The new cabinet is dominated by former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, led Communist Party, and includes several other smaller groups. He had also headed a coalition with the UML briefly after the 2022 elections. Parliament Speaker Dev Raj said that Dehal won 157 votes against the 138 required in the 275-member parliament, winning the trust of the House. Over 110 lawmakers voted against him. Nepal has had 13 governments since it abolished monarchy in the year 2008 and became a republic. Instability has hampered growth of the $40 billion economy of the Himalayan nation, sandwiched between India and China. Now, correspondent Saloni Murarka gets us more from Kathmandu.
Nepal Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dehal has once again secured a majority in the House of 275 members with 157 votes in his favour. This is the third floor test that the Prime Minister has taken in the less than 15 months. This is after he formed a new alliance with his former partner KP Sharma Oli from CPN UML party. Now, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dehal has also inked a 7-point agreement with his ally partners to work in the interest of the nation. Now, all these 5-party coalition government will now prepare a common minimum program to work in the interest of the nation and sovereignty. Now, the largest party in the parliament, Nepali Congress, will act as an opposition. Saloni Murarka for WION The World is one in Kathmandu, Nepal.
Let's talk about this rematch now. It is the 2020 presidential elections all over again. And for the Americans, Joe Biden and Donald Trump have set up a political move that their country has seen before. Both the US president and his immediate predecessor can and have secured their party nominations to run for the highest office. Donald Trump clinched the Republican presidential nomination, calling it a great honor after capping off a stunning political comeback, fueled more by grievances and talks of vengeance. The former president crossed the threshold of 1,215 delegates needed to become the GOP nominee, formally entering what's poised to be the longest and costliest general election in recent history.
This has been a tremendous week for our movement. We won big on Super Tuesday. They call it Super Tuesday for a reason. We won big. And now we're just days away from officially clinching the Republican nomination for President of the United States of America.
On the other hand, his Democratic rival Joe Biden also won enough delegates in the primary to become his party's presumptive nominee for president. The American president issued a statement after sealing the Democratic nomination, taking aim at Trump's campaign of resentment, revenge and retribution that threatens the very idea of America, he says. Despite the tough talk, the road ahead for the duo will not be easy. Trump is facing 91 felony counts in 4 criminal cases involving his handling of classified documents and his attempt to overturn the 2020 election, among other alleged crimes. While 81-year-old incumbent president faces some vulnerabilities heading into November. Questions are being raised about Biden's age. There are deep reservations about his ability to assume the presidency for 4 more years. Also, the long-shot presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is making a play to appear on the ballot in multiple key swing states. According to reports, there are indicators that the former Democrat could draw more votes from President Joe Biden than former President Donald Trump. In a November Siena College poll of voters in 6 battleground states, more Democrats than Republicans said that they would back Kennedy Jr., indicating that he could draw more votes from Biden versus Trump. Kennedy Jr. is a former environmental lawyer. His political ideology is, however, somewhat difficult to understand. As a descendant of the world's most famous Democratic family, he is likely to appeal to some Democratic voters. However, his anti-vaccine advocacy could deter them. But that itself could attract GOP voters looking for a Trump alternative.
They are ready to reclaim.
Could be appealing to some Republican voters who are looking for a Trump alternative. But polls show that he could hurt Biden more than Donald Trump. One poll shows that Kennedy Jr. on the ballot means that Biden's lead narrows from 4 to 1. Another shows that Trump will lead from 2 points to 5 if Kennedy Jr. is on the ballot. So the question is RFK the ultimate wild card? Well, it's also important to note that a Wall Street Journal poll in December found that RFK would hurt former President Donald Trump more than incumbent President Biden. So we'll have to wait and see. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.
Now moving on to political developments in the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak-led Tories are not faring well in the polls. Their ratings are at a 45-year low and general elections are just a few months away. In some efforts to patch the relationship between the two, and a few texts have been exchanged as well. But reports say that Johnson wants Sunak to personally reach out to him. The strained ties go back to the summer of 2022. When Sunak resigned as the Chancellor, the move triggered a string of ministerial resignations and eventually Johnson's government came down. Hopes that Johnson could be roped in to campaign for the Tories emerged after Lee Anderson, Conservatives' deputy chairperson, defected to Reform UK party. This after Anderson was suspended from the party over accusations of Islamophobia. Reform UK says that it will field candidates against the Conservatives in every constituency. This even as fears of as many as 10 Tory MPs defecting to Reform party continue to loom.
And to safeguard our children's health.
European Parliament will be holding its elections this June. This 720-seat House will be making all the crucial decisions for the bloc for the next 5 years. But in 2024, the Parliament seems to be taking a sharp right. Hard-right leaders like Italy's Giorgia Meloni are making their presence felt. We tell you the story from a prison cell in Milan.
In this North Italy prison, the inmates are on hunger and work strike. They are seeking their legitimate rights, protesting against poor sanitation and overcrowding. The strike comes at a time when suicides and cases of self-harm are at an all-time high across Italy's prisons. In less than the 3 months this year, there have been as many as 21 suicides. The prisoners' welfare organizations say the problem is twofold. One, the prisons are overcrowded. January data shows prisons holding about 10,000 people above capacity. The second issue is understaffing. There is a shortfall of 16% in the prescribed workforce. But regardless of the prisoners' demands, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has other plans. Her hard-right government is working on a law to make prisoner protests, even peaceful ones, a crime.
It is essentially a constitutional setback. It's a return to the past, an erosion of the rule of law, slowly progressing in areas where we were not accustomed to seeing such interventions in criminal and immigration matters.
If the bill gets made into law, protesting prisoners could see their jail terms doubled and isolate Italy among Western legal systems.
I don't even understand exactly what passive resistance means. I don't think it's something that can be acceptable because it has to do with the freedom of speech of every person in the world, even persons that are in prison. I think that nothing like that is in a regulation in other countries, and I don't think that the European Court of Human Rights is going to accept a bill like that, so I really hope it's not going to be approved.
This bill continues the law and order hallmark of Meloni's government. But how does it fit in Europe's democratic landscape? The European Parliament is holding elections this June, and Meloni is playing an instrumental role in them. Meloni was once a severe EU critic, calling EU institutions to be quote-unquote rotten to the core. But since becoming the head of the most right-wing government in Italy's post-war history, Meloni has become an unlikely power player within the bloc. Migration is one policy area where Meloni is clearly influencing politics at the European level. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is well aware of this. Seeking a re-election, she will need support from national leaders like Meloni. That explains why of late von der Leyen is spending so much time in Italy. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And with that, we're wrapping up this session of Race to Power. I'm Ananya Datta. Thanks for watching with me.
India's Global Voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION World is One.